Hi, today I'm going to tell you about another focal species in the month of May, which is an invasive shrub called jetbead, or otherwise known as black jetbead. It's a tier 3 species in the Lower Hudson PRISM region, meaning that it's established here, but a little less common than some of our other, common invasive shrubs, say like Japanese barberry or multiflora rose. You can see it behind me right now, and one of its key distinguishing features are these flowers that come out. We're filming this on May 2nd right now in Dutchess County in New York, and you really can see the white flowers behind it that start to pop out behind it. There's some garlic mustard below me as well with some white flowers, but it's really, you're looking for these single white flowers that and growing in a shrub-like fashion, again sprawling and outcompeting a lot of the native shrubs and native species that we want to protect in our region. So I'm going to take a closer look at some of the key identifying features like its leaf shape, and also take a look at these showy flowers. It was brought here to the United States in 1866 for its ornamental value, and it is these showy flowers and kind of the cool shape of the leaves that give it that sort of ornamental pop. But let's take a closer look. So here's a look at jetbead and kind of its sprawling nature. As you can see where I am in this park, you can see, just take a look for those white flowers that are popping out here. It's sprawled all along this area, and it's usually found in forest edges like this. If we take a closer look, we'll see some of its key identifying features that make it pretty prominent and distinguishable from some of the other shrubs in our region. So first of all, as you can see, are its berries. So the berries grow in a very unique fashion. You can see that there's 4 dark berries that grow almost perpendicular to one another. And these usually come out in the late fall, but these have persisted, and that's part of the reason why it's troublesome as an invasive, is that you've got these very persistent berries, birds will eat them and then widely disperse them. And then right next to it, you can see its flower. So it starts flowering in spring, so again, late April or May that you'll start to see that. And it's just, this white flower. They don't grow in clusters, so you'll just see this one prominent flower in between a couple of leaves, and the leaves grow opposite of one another, as you can see. So like they come out right next to one another. The other key distinguishing feature are its leaves. So if you take a look, see how the leaves are very toothed? All right, so, and then they're very deeply veined. That's another key characteristic. And if you look at the top of this leaf, you'll see that it's got like sort of it's very elongated towards the top, if my camera comes into focus here. So you see that like sort of elongated tip. That's another key feature, as well as the toothed margins. It's not quite as deeply toothed as some of the lookalikes, say like an arrowwood viburnum. People often confuse them with viburnums. Those are a little bit more like almost like a rounder shape to the leaves, a little thicker, and more deeply toothed than this, even though this is has a pretty toothed look to it. The other one is linden viburnums that people might confuse it with, except for linden viburnums, the leaves are very soft. When I'm touching this leaf here of jetbead, it's rough. I wouldn't say rough, but it's certainly not soft and velvety like the linden viburnums are. So just to zoom back again, this is its sprawling nature, and you're looking for those black berries, again, that grow perpendicular to one another, and sometimes they'll persist through the winter, and you can see them in the spring now. And certainly, if you want to capture your eye, you're looking for those white flowers and sort of this sprawling nature to it. It's a deciduous shrub and multi-stemmed as well. So those are some of the key identifying features and how to tell it apart from some of the viburnums that we see in our region as well. And I hope you learned a little bit of something, and keep your eye out for jetbead. If you do happen to see it, because it is a less common invasive species, we are asking that you post it to iNaturalist and help us record its distribution in the Lower Hudson PRISM region and in northern New Jersey.